This isn't that much, but it's definitely going to be enough to get back Hallel and probably Thanatos as well, and those are the two personas that I really want here. It just feels thematically appropriate to bring Thanatos to the final battle, so let's just go ahead and get those two back. I suppose registering all of these here except for Alilad is probably a good idea. And now, let's get... They're in Star, not Judgment, obviously. This should hopefully be enough. Don't think Thanatos is going to be any more than 300,000. Actually, only 100,000 less. Not a lot of money. Now, your money does actually carry over to a New Game Plus, so it actually might be beneficial to grind for a lot more money here. I think I'm pretty much okay, though. I will need to mass sell a lot of things, because only the items that you have currently equipped carry over into a New Game Plus. So, it's recommended that you sell every other weapon and armor that you have in your inventory, because those things will not carry over, as well as any consumables that you don't think will be used in the final battle. Only a few days to go. And now we come to a fairly interesting part of the game. This is the first social... Well, not exactly social link. This is the first social episode of the game where we have nothing left to do. We've maxed every social link, and in these last 3 days, you can really spend them anytime you like. Something that I want to point out about Aegis, though. Unlike any of the other romances, you don't get the option to spend more time with her after school. Which is why I was saying last time how, from a pure mechanic standpoint, this social link doesn't actually count as a romance. She doesn't get jealous with other girls, and you can't see her after the link's already maxed. And of course, everyone else has their own problems. I don't think that's the real issue here. So, really, like I said, there isn't that much else to do. I suppose I could show one of the things that I've never been able to show in this playthrough, and that is studying in the library. Seeing as it uses up your afternoon time, there's really no reason to do it in the main playthrough, if you're on a max social links run, so that's why we haven't seen it yet. But in case you want to know, the library's here. And at max academics, there's really no point to going here, but, well, there's not much point to doing anything at this point. Except going to the shrine, but that'll only affect anything if we're going to Tartarus tomorrow and, tonight, and I don't think we are. So you just get an academics boost here. It's basically the same as studying in your room, and that, well, doesn't conflict with any other activity, so there's no real reason to study in the library.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we don't want to. Thankfully, we didn't get tired from that last venture into Tartarus. And I don't think there's much in the way of new dialogue here. There is one new thing that we can do tonight, though. If we talk to Sakura Maru, this time we get to go on one last walk with everyone. This is quite a nice scene. It doesn't serve any purpose gameplay-wise, but I do really like it. One last time for the whole team to hang out together before the final battle. I like this, just, I guess with Koromaru, Yukari and Mitsuru talking, Ken playing on the equipment, and speaking to Akihiko, and then if we watch this, Fuka's got herself stuck in the playground. That's pretty amazing. And Junpei has to help her. We don't get any dialogue for this, but really, what needs to be said? Our second last day today. And no lunchtime because we've maxed every social link, so once again, we're back at after school without much to do. However, unlike yesterday, someone's available today. First though, let's talk to this guy one last time, because there won't be any school tomorrow. In fact, you know what? I don't want to leave just yet. This is our last day at school in the entire game. So, I kind of just want to savor it a little bit. I guess now would be a good time to start talking about my final thoughts on what's happened, really. This whole project and the like. So, this has been very long. Very, very long. If you followed this as it's been uploaded, it started around the end of 2015, and it's only finishing now, almost halfway through 2017, though I did have to take a huge break in the middle to do Fire Emblem Fates, which ended up going on for 6 months, and I basically had to play 3 games for that. That I was not expecting. Funny thing is, I originally started this playthrough planning that the start of it would coincide with the release of Persona 5. Ironically, Persona 5 got delayed as much as this series did. In the end of this series corresponded to the release of Persona 5, which in a way is actually quite fitting. So, I know it's taken a long time. This is a very, very long game. Especially if you're going for everything you can do in the game, and to be honest, I achieved more in this playthrough than I actually thought I ever would. I did not expect I'd be 100%ing the compendium. I honestly, as well, went into this not expecting to be able to complete Elizabeth's date requests because I thought they used up time. I did not expect to fuse some of these personas, like Hallel with Victory Cry. There's just... this has just been an... Really, these games, they're a journey. They're truly a long journey, but I think they're a fulfilling one. I'm getting emotional now, but I absolutely adore this game. This is definitely one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and it's made me so happy to share it with all of you. I really hope you've enjoyed this ride. I still feel like this game is a little underappreciated compared to Persona 4, which definitely gets the most attention by far. I do genuinely enjoy this game more than 4, but that's a story for another time, and I don't really want to get negative at this point. This game certainly has its flaws, which I will be talking about later, but it's still a game that I absolutely adore, and I really hope you've enjoyed experiencing it with me. I hope this playthrough has helped some people through the complete god-dang-it insanity that is a max social links run. Speaking of which, I'd just like to mention, I would really like to thank Penguin Knight for this. So, before I started this series, I actually... No, wait, I'm not going to sell that. That was Shinjiro's weapon that I had equipped right at the end. Definitely going to keep that one. So, I actually emailed Penguin Knight, the one who wrote the Max Social Links guide that I am following in this playthrough. I asked him if it was okay to do a video series following his guide, because I felt that was only fair. I didn't want people to mistakenly think I was the one who came up with this schedule, because I was not. That was all him. And I would just like to say thank you so much for that guide. Seriously. The amount of effort that must have gone into that is just staggering. And thank you, because I did not expect this at all. But when I emailed him, Penguin Knight actually replied to me and said that he was completely okay with me doing this. So, once again, thank you. And, well, thanks to all of you for watching this. Thanks for pointing out certain things that I've missed. Thanks for being along with the ride. Thanks for sharing your own experiences. It's been pretty amazing. Definitely don't want to sell any of those. I mean, see, these are such good items. See, technically speaking, there's no reason to not sell these, because they're going to disappear in a New Game Plus anyway, and I'm not going to use any of them for the final battle. But, I don't know, I got these out of Elizabeth's request, and they're just such good items that I just feel like I want to keep them. It's the same thing for a lot of these consumables. A lot of these I just like to keep as, you know, fragments of our journey so far. Anyway, with that done, you know, while we're on a final shopping trip, let's see if I can get some more Balm of Lifes at this place. The antique store. Oh, and of course, pick up the weapon while I'm at it. Good thing I picked that up today, actually. I think I do have enough yen, I just realized. So, I might be able to do, yeah, Orpheus Telos' weapon fusion. Resist magic high. The problem is, though, I doubt I'll be using this weapon for the final battle, and like I said, anything that's not equipped will disappear on a New Game Plus. So, if I don't plan on using this for the final boss, there's really no reason to make it. In that case, let's just see what I can trade these gems for. Precious egg. Yeah, I might want to just get some more of these. I do have Summer Calm, but having an SP-less way to revive party members is going to be a huge asset. I think 10 of these is fine. Actually, more of these might not be a bad idea. Though granted, if you're on a New Game Plus, you really want to stock up on those. 10 each of these. Don't really need them. I have Tetrakan and Makarakan at this point anyway. Suppose I can get a few more of these. Might need them. And well, that's all I want to do here. So with that, I'm going to head back to the school. And I thought that we'd use one of the last days in the game to spend time with someone special. And I'm not saying that all of the social links aren't equally special, because they really are. But, you know, personal bias, I kind of like implied canon options, and I guess it's not available to spend time with, so out of the 3 implied canon romances that the Persona 3 protagonist has, Yukari, Aigis, and Elizabeth, I kind of wish that we could spend time with Elizabeth now, but we actually can't, so there's just one of them. And it's a character that I still feel just gets a little too much flack from the fanbase. It's mostly because of the answer, and I admit I'll be talking about that tomorrow. The thing is that I feel like the main reason why... Chihiro's so amazing too. The main reason why what happens to her in the answer gets so much hate is probably because of just how strong Yukari is as a character at the very end of the journey. But anyway, I suppose this is the Yukari we want to remember. The relationship can't get any closer, but we can still spend time. Everyone, like I said, besides Igers, has their own optional scenes like this. If you're on a max social links run like this, don't do these unless you have a completely free day in the schedule, but I felt like this is only fitting for the very end of the game. It's already happened once before, though. So, that's all you get for that, but I thought it was nice to do one of those before the end. Like I said earlier, I kind of wish that spending more time with Kenji was an option, because he was the first friend we had.
Greetings.
The promised day is tomorrow. And another reminder that there's no going back once we enter Tartarus then. We're in it for the long haul, for better or worse. No second chances, no chances to get more equipment. Well, at least our final news report is much more hopeful. And, well, that kind of went south fast. The punctured bubble's a reference to the bubble economy, something that happened to Japan. The economy kind of boomed for a while, but it was just a bubble waiting to burst, and when it did, it hit very hard. We do have the opportunity to save in the dorm tomorrow, because it is a Sunday. This is, though, actually the last chance we get to talk to our party members. Downstairs. Unfortunately, no new dialogue here. There'll definitely be new dialogue tomorrow. I think I've already done everything I want to do at Tartarus, to be honest. So, I suppose let's just get one more stat boost. Don't worry, I have not forgotten about the cards. Something else, yeah, speaking of things I've forgotten, I mentioned that I did promise that I would do a non-cheap fight of the Reaper once I had better personas. I kind of don't want to stall the final battle any longer than it is, though. I might do that as a bonus episode. So, what have they got today? Now, tomorrow we would be able to do all of the possible stat boosts, except not, because we can't use up our nighttime tomorrow. Speaking of which, there's something that I actually want to show. If you go into the antique store today, just something to be a little careful of. If you try and make a weapon fusion that takes 2 days, the game will still allow you to do this, and they'll say it'll be ready on the 1st of February. Unfortunately, the final boss happens tomorrow, and the 1st of February is unplayable. So, don't fall for that. That is totally useless if you try. Please don't do that. Just a public service announcement. Okay, it's magic. That's actually kind of fitting, so... Well, it's really a choice between Messiah or Orpheus Telos, I guess. And, well, I don't know. Messiah's is higher. Let's go for Orpheus Telos. Remember back when it was a struggle to make money for the arena? It's definitely a good idea to sleep earlier now. In fact, it's totally pointless to study, because there's nothing left in the game that requires academics. So, the promised day arrives. Thankfully, it's a day off school. Though there is something a little strange about today. Let's just see Tanaka one more time, even though his show is completely pointless. Well, if nothing else, we've got one more thing to fight for: saving people from Tanaka's ridiculous extortion. The strange thing today, though, is nobody is downstairs at the dorm today. Though, when I practiced this segment, I forgot to check the command room. Maybe they're there, because I checked the whole city, and none of them are anywhere to find, at all. Thought I saw someone there for a second, but no. Wonder if anyone's in here. No? No one. But we can check to see if there's any new recordings. There is a new recording. Okay, this could be a major mood whiplash, so I apologize in advance if it is.
This room is really too small to practice in. But come to think of it, I don't have to practice in secret anymore. I don't live on the first floor in this dorm, so I might be disturbing the people downstairs. I chose a long weapon so I wouldn't lose to an adult's reach. But the longer the weapon, the better it is for taller people. Ow! Ow! I hit my shin again. I hope I get taller soon. Maybe I should drink more milk. It hurts my stomach sometimes, though.
I don't think that one was actually inappropriately timed, really. It shows that Ken is fighting hard just like the rest of us. Also, we actually get to see Ken's room finally. No other time in the game when you do that. And also, it's kind of ironic in light of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Yep, Ken, that milk worked. But apparently there's another new recording. Let's see what this one is.
You know, future consultation is coming up.
Yeah, what are we supposed to say during all that?
Oh, Koro-chan.
Aw, if you sleep wherever you want, you'll catch a cold. What is it, Aigis?
There's a miniature camera near the ceiling. It's been camouflaged. Does that mean it's been recording whoever walks past here?
Oh, yeah. yeah, I forgot that you can check out anywhere in the dorm from the command room.
Does that mean one has been placed in each of our rooms as well?
I never thought about it. But probably so. I used the system last year.
Huh? Is that true?
Well, you need a key to use it, and I doubt any of the guys would dare look inside our rooms. If they did, I'm gonna kick the living crap out of them before Nix can get his hands on them.
Yukari-san, your vital signs are fluctuating. Are you in danger of dying of shame?
I guess.
Anyway, we don't need that stupid system anymore. Let's ask Misuru Senpai to have it removed.
You're right. The camera's recording right now. Hello?
And so, Gary Stu realized he had a far more frightening enemy to contend with than Nix. Run! Run for your life! Before they find you! That was a pretty fitting way to end it, honestly. In fact, let me just quickly check. That should be the last one. In fact, I'm sure it's the last one. Everyone found out about the cameras, after all. Yep, that is the last one. In the end, Sakura Maru was the one who discovered it. Unfortunately, it was a little too late. But, you know, ending on that is not such a bad thing. So, if you want one last chance to buy supplies, it's definitely a good idea to save now. Because once you head out the doors, you are locked into advancing time to nighttime, and starting the lead up to the final battle. So, there is no turning back now. Might be a good idea to keep the save from there too, because this is your last chance to sell items for a New Game Plus. Now, there's not much to do in the city, so I suppose I'll spend this time giving part 2 of my reflections on this game. Like I said, it is definitely not perfect. The battle system has serious flaws. But to me though, the AI party members, while it is annoying, it wasn't the biggest annoyance that I've actually found with this game. No, that would be the skill inheritance system. I've never before realized just how much of a nightmare that is. It's totally random, and the only way you can affect it is to just keep re-rolling the skills. It wasn't until I believe Persona 4 Golden that they changed this system, and it is just painfully frustrating. Early game, it's not that much of a big deal, but on the end game Personas, it can often take as long as 30 minutes before you get the skills that you want, which is just... I'm so glad they've changed that in later games. The only other major gripe that I personally experienced throughout this playthrough, the katana requests. But I've already expressed how much I don't like those in vivid detail, so I don't even need to talk about that anymore. Persona 4 did improve the battle system by leaps and bounds. It also made the social link system far less annoying. Though, really, there are actually some parts of Persona 4 where I feel like they went a bit too far with making the social links more lenient. While reversing links can be a bit unforgiving in this game, especially via dialogue options, on first playthroughs it can be quite annoying for those. I don't like how in Persona 4, you can neglect your friends with zero consequences. It just feels really weird and just not that realistic, and doesn't encourage you to be a good friend, really. Also, the fact that in Persona 4, and 5 for that matter, besides optional scenes on Valentine's Day, there are zero consequences for cheating. Of course, I did like how they had the option to make social links either platonic or romantic. That's something that this game really could have used. I mean, Persona 3 Portable kind of had that, but it made its romantic roots way too much of a guide, dang it. Yes, the fact that you have to romance all of the romanceable social links in order to get 100% of this game is one of the main things that I don't really like about it. It's part of the reason why I did the whole Gary Stu thing. It's something that I like to make fun of, the fact that the protagonist has to be a total Casanova. And I am sorry if... I know a lot of people are attached to the Persona 3 protagonist, and I do apologize to anyone who feels offended about this. It's just something that I often feel the need to joke about, but in all honesty, I kind of feel like this is a journey that has to have had its impacts on Gary Stu, the one I've created. I'm sure that through bonding with all these people, he's realized that there are some things that are more important than just selfish desires, and that he's genuinely come to really care for this world. I think he's willing to do whatever it takes to save it now. I do very much intend to do other games in this series. I'll be taking a bit of a break from longer projects after this one, obviously. The thing is that I am not as big a fan of Persona 4 as I am of this and 5. I'd really like to skip straight to 5, if I'm honest. I know that 4 has a huge number of fans, and partly that's actually the reason why they're not open today, are they? The reason why I'm actually a little hesitant to do it, because I don't have as high opinions of that game as a lot of other people do. I do like the story of this one better than the 4th game, though the 4th game's story is still good. And 3's story definitely has its pacing issues. I think 5 is the best paced plot of the post-3 games by far. 4 did get bogged down with a lot of filler though. 3 has a lot less in that department, but one thing that I really do like about 3 is that it ties its characters to the story much better. There's not really a single party member who I feel just doesn't have much of a reason to be there. Everyone now has a reason to take down Nyx. Everyone has been connected to this shadow plot in some way. And just, while the characters on their own might not be quite as good as the ones in 4, I still love the growth and the journeys that they all undergo over this game. To me, the real standouts are Junpei, Yukari, I guess, but only towards the very end, and surprisingly enough, Koromaru. I'll just go for the surprising one first. Koromaru is just a great case of how to develop a character without even having them speak. He's a completely non-anthropomorphic animal, and I just feel like he is one of the best written animal companion characters that I've experienced. Oh, you can actually go back to the town map from here? I never knew that. Junpei, though, I've already said many times just how much I like Junpei. He is pretty much one of my favourite RPG characters of all time, if not my absolute favourite. A lot of people like him, though, so my reasons for liking him are fairly obvious. Just the fact that he starts out as pure comic relief, and he just develops into the voice of reason and just such a great character. It's amazing just how much you don't expect it, because he's such a one-note character to begin with. Like, I've even, at a convention where I met his voice actor, Vic Mignogna, I actually told him how much I love Junpei, and I will say that his performance is great too. All the voice acting in this game I find is absolutely fantastic, with the possible exceptions of Fuka and Ken. For Yukari though, just how much strength and resolve she shows at the end of the game. Just from someone who starts out as just the popular girl who doesn't really care much about the world or what's going on in it or the future, and just the fact that she is one of the first people at the end to immediately say no to Ryoji's offer. I don't want to stand by and let the world end. I don't want to let everything we've done be meaningless. It just shows real growth that just she is the first one to stand up to that. And her battle quotes at the very end of the game, after getting her ultimate persona, are just so amazing. The other characters are all great in their own ways, but those are the main people who stand out to me. As far as social links go, all of them really just have a special place in my heart. The only social links in this game that I'm not a particularly big fan of are Moon and Fortune. Fortune I find a little bit bland, and Moon, I've said everything I could about him already, mainly that he only really starts to get likable at the very, very end. But other than that, I really have an attachment to all of the social links in this game, and I do enjoy all of them. So, enough of my long-winded rambling. The reason I'm doing this is because there's not going to be much time to discuss things during the actual ending and credits. So, I thought, even though it's not all that productive, a fitting way to end our last day on the town is to go for one last karaoke session for old time's sake. And with that, we have to go back to the dorm, where we must prepare for the final battle.